applies, but as I mentioned before, when there aren't enough people, the game may backfill from other brackets to keep queue times short. This is especially noticeable if you play outside of your region's prime hours, or if you queue for standard mode during an event or modifier. These always attract the majority of casual players, turning standard mode into a fucking war zone. Since mechanically all survivors are absolutely identical, they share a single MMR score. Killers on the other hand are all unique, so each of them has their own MMR. This means that if you max out MMR on one killer but then switch to another you've never played before, the game doesn't immediately throw you against a 4-man squad of unemployed tryhards. But it also doesn't mean you'll get complete potatoes either, cause it's not like you're learning the game from scratch. At the very least, you already know the macro gameplay, which by behavior's logic is enough to compete with medium survivors. To ensure you go against them, they use MMR rubber banding, a mechanic that automatically raises all killers below 1200 points up to that threshold once at least one of your killers reaches the soft cap. MMR rubber banding is exactly the reason you can't switch killers once you've started queuing for a match. Otherwise, people would use new killers to find easy survivors, but then actually play as the one they've already mastered. But I guess it's not that bad. 1200 points is still technically the casual segment, so if you're a top 5% killer and you want to break from high-level matches, try a new character for a change. It's basically a legal smurfing loophole. Survivors can smurf too, by the way. In their case, all it takes is grouping up with someone who has lower MMR. Just like with ranks, it'll put you against a killer whose MMR is gonna be the average of your groups. But arguably the biggest sin of skill-based matchmaking is the fact that, once again, it's a hidden system, and not the goal point or emblem kinda hidden. With those you at least had some sort of feedback on the post-game tally screen. Skill-based matchmaking is hidden, to the point where you won't find your MMR even if you click through every single menu in the game. It literally took data miners for the community to learn the details of how it actually works. Yes, almost everything I've told you about it in this video isn't official information, so take it with a grain of salt. Over the 3 years MMR has been in the game, its hidden nature has caused a lot of chaos in the community. The biggest drama so far happened in the spring of 2024 when True Talent got into a confrontation with several other content creators over
Oh, freaking dead. Just had to bring up True Talent, bro.
for smurfing accusations. Around that time, he conducted an experiment debunking a pretty popular opinion that skill-based matchmaking doesn't actually work, and that in reality there's just one big pool of players where everybody plays
Best believe True Talent responded to this video too, probably.
against everybody. Afterward, he made a tweet saying that players from lower brackets play exactly like the ones some YouTubers go against in their videos, implying that they smurf for content. He didn't drop any concrete names, but mentioned that he was referring to videos that got recommended to him, which led a lot of people to believe he was talking about the big boys of the DBD YouTube, cause whose videos show up on YouTube recommendations the most, right? This kicked off a massive beef between them and True, which
Newsflash, they do. They freaking make another Steam account and freaking, or they freaking they freaking make another Steam account so they can freaking play against freaking newbies and stuff like that, and get freaking 360 videos and all that stuff, and freaking breaking ankles videos and stuff because you're playing against freaking trash killers. That's why. Because it's throwing you back in the beginning.
DWiki. Its editors didn't really like that, cause they didn't want to be a part of that drama, which eventually led to them hiding almost all the information from the article. Funny to think how all that could have been avoided if behavior just showed.
They do. They make another freaking Steam account. They make a second Steam account with their exact same name and freaking
What is the numbers? When skill-based matchmaking was introduced, MMR took over the roles of ranks, making them, and by extension emblems, redundant. As a result, ranks were removed, and that's just crazy to me. Behavior put in so much time and effort to get them to work, only to eventually give up and go for something completely different. Emblems got lucky and were tied to a brand new mechanic called grades. Grades are basically a spiritual successor to ranks.
And how do I know that? Because I used to... My freaking main Dead by Daylight account, the real Dead by Daylight account that I started playing Dead by Daylight on, was this account. I started playing on this account. And then I later on turned my freaking I used to game share it through to this account. To my this was my old main account. This used to be my old main account. But then I started buying to so many games on this account that I freaking just ended up switching this account over to my main account. So yeah, that's how I know. Because like when I freaking was playing against freaking when I would play against, when I would take a long break from playing like on like this account, when I would take a long break from playing games on this where is it, on this account, and I would play on this account like, and then I'll go back and try games on this account. They throw you back to like this freaking newbie, like brand new, like weak ass freaking lobbies and shit like that. There's weak lobbies.
They work almost the same way, except they don't affect matchmaking. You grind them to earn a blood point reward at the end of the season. The higher you climb, the bigger the reward. For a long time, the similarity between ranks and grades caused a lot of confusion, especially among beginners. When they saw that their opponents had higher grades, it made them freak out because they thought they'd accidentally ended up in a high-skill lobby where they stood no chance. Eventually, this made Behavior hide grades from practically everywhere, and now you can only find them on the profile screen. Grades weren't super relevant even before that change, but after it, people pretty much forgot about them altogether. The final nail in a coffin for grades came when Behavior removed the ability to
Sad. Very sad. Disgusting.
lose pips. Even in their original state, you couldn't lose enough pips to drop a grade. But now that you can't depeep at all, grades have lost any meaning whatsoever, and are just an expression of how often you play.
Facts, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally iridescent. Like, hitting iridescent or gold these days, it really doesn't matter. But it's like, it's just a goal now. Like, it's just, you get it done, but it's just like, it's not the same meaning as like old iridescent or old freaking. It's not as like valued as freaking old green rank or freaking purple rank or freaking red rank.
The game during the month. Now that we've figured out exactly what's wrong with skill,
It's not really like a skill. Like it's basically like you can be an iridescent, but you're damn near you could be playing with a freaking brown rank. Like it don't matter. Like, it don't freaking matter.
base matchmaking, can it be fixed? Probably. In fact, if you spend some time on Google, you'll find some posts describing exactly how that can be done. Some people are pretty optimistic. They think that simply breaking the MMR range into more brackets and making people match strictly within them will suffice. Others are more radical. They ask for a dedicated competitive mode to make SBMM apply exclusively there, leaving the standard mode for fun and casual matches. But honestly, I don't think any of these suggestions would work. More brackets and more accurate matchmaking sound great in theory, but they'd make queue times even worse than they already are. Same with competitive mode. Introducing it would split the standard 2Q structure into a 4Q one, which would make finding a match take about as long as it does for killers in 2v8. And now imagine if on top of that there's actually 2v8. Queue times would skyrocket so much you'd be playing maybe one match an hour tops. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? If so, you might as well just join the ranked DBD server on Discord. Matches there take ages to set up, so you'll get pretty much the same experience. But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to diss that server. With the limited resources its owners had, they actually came up with a surprisingly functional way to play competitive matches. If you're interested, I'll leave the link to the server as well as the introductory video in the description. So what do we do then? Well, maybe instead of looking for new solutions, for once we should turn to something old that's already proven to work. Listen, Behavior, it's time to return to rank-based matchmaking. Seriously, there's nothing MMR does that ranks don't. But unlike MMR, ranks don't make the game feel so hardcore. Thanks to the monthly rank reset, you'd get a regular break from the stress of high-level gameplay and actually get to enjoy the game for a bit. Some might call it glorified smurfing, and they wouldn't be wrong. But if it means high-ranked players won't feel the game is holding them hostage anymore, I think it's a sacrifice worth making. To keep smurfing under control, we could use the rank reset logic of the late ranking system, where you only lost half of your progress. And as an extra safety measure, we could even borrow the no depeeping principle from grades. Ranks should be openly displayed. This would put an end to hidden smurfing and provide one more form of progression, making grinding feel a little less pointless. For high-tier players who care about maintaining their status, it would serve as a direct testament to their skill and dedication. Those who don't care as much would still benefit. Seeing that they've just defeated someone with a higher rank would give them a small ego boost, and if they lose, they won't feel as bad. I'd probably still keep ranks hidden in the pre-game lobby though, so killers couldn't use them to cherry-pick easy survivors like they did originally. For the reasons I've explained earlier, ranks should be blood points point based, but unlike the original system, I'd put more focus on the sacrifice and objectives categories, so you wouldn't be able to pick without doing the main thing for your role. I'd also either convert the Unbroken and Gatekeeper emblems into brand new blood point categories, or at least make them part of the existing ones. To make the competition between the two sides more pronounced, we could even borrow the tug-of-war principle from emblems for some actions. Naturally, there absolutely needs to be a reward for hitting rank 1. Not just blood points, though they wouldn't hurt. I'm talking about something like a limited badge or banner, or better yet a whole skin that changes every season. All this is fairly easy to implement. The devs wouldn't even have to do much coding. For the most part, they could just reuse their old spaghetti code. Will they do it though? Well, it's pretty clear they never liked the idea of ranks all that much, so I wouldn't count on it. Which is why if you still haven't developed a taste for skill-based matchmaking, I suggest you start working on it ASAP, because we're most likely stuck with it forever.
If only, if only. If only, if only we could get the old ranks and de-ranking and all that shit. It'll be lovely. It'll be lovely. But it's not going to do that. It done turned too casual. It done turned too casual. What the fuck? Deadlock. Alright, I'll mean the stream. There's been freaking 12 hours. I am going to freaking make some food. I will catch y'all later. Maybe tomorrow's, or not tomorrow's. Maybe later on today. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe. Depending. Let's see. It's Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll play Tarkov tonight. Well, we'll see. Maybe. Because they did nerf the Black Division and all that stuff. So, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Don't hold me to it. We'll see. If not, then 100% when freaking Dead by Daylight restart their battle pass or drop their next battle pass will probably be next stream. But yeah, I will catch y'all later. Until next time. Peace.